All right, shifting gears to the WNBA here, because the collective bargaining agreement between the W and its Players Association, it is set to expire this week on January the 9th. Now, Napheesa Collier, she spoke on the current situation from her team's Unrivaled game last night. Take a listen.
I think you've just heard a lot of chatter about, what we're asking for is not sustainable for the business. And being on this side with Unrivaled, I know what it takes to run a sustainable business. So I think if they can't find a model that makes that happen, they need to put people in place who can, because we've proven that it is possible. There is a way, and we're thriving in that. And so I do think a deal is going to get done, but we're standing firm in what we believe in. We're not going to back down, and we can't take less. The sport has just grown too much. It would be a disservice to the people who came before us, so the work that we put in, to take less than what we're owed.
Napheesa Collier just set off an internal explosion in the WNBA. As vice president of the Players Union, she publicly called the league financially broken, while simultaneously running a competing basketball league of her own. Let that sink in. She's negotiating on behalf of WNBA players while also trying to recruit those same players to her startup. The conflict of interest isn't subtle. It's seismic. The audacity is staggering, and the fallout is already turning nuclear for everyone involved.
Well, the co-founders of Unrivaled, Stewart and Collier, are of course VPs on the committee. The very committee that voted to authorize a strike against WNBA and NBA owners over the CBA. The very committee that authorized the proposal that would lose the WNBA $700 million. The very committee that is turning down salary increases of about 9 times the amount of money you're making right now.
Let's talk about conflicts of interest, because Napheesa Collier just created a case study in how not to handle professional responsibility. She is the vice president of the WNBA Players Union, the role meant to advocate for players within the WNBA, while simultaneously co-founding Unrivaled, a competing basketball league. That's not multitasking. That's a fundamental conflict. It's like being the head chef at McDonald's while opening a burger joint across the street, then holding a press conference about why McDonald's food is unacceptable. The audacity would almost be impressive if it weren't so deeply unserious, and here's where it gets truly messy. Collier didn't quietly build Unrivaled on the side. She went scorched earth during CBA negotiations. Publicly, she stood up and declared that the WNBA's financial model is unsustainable, saying, if the WNBA can't find a model that makes that happen, they need to put people in place to plan. Read that again. The VP of the Players Union openly questioning the league's viability while sitting across the table negotiating with it. That's not leverage. That's sabotage dressed up as concern. Then she went a step further and held up Unrivaled as the proof of concept. According to Collier, Unrivaled shows that a sustainable basketball business is possible. She called it thriving. She followed that by vowing, we're not going to back down and we can't take less. Thriving? Let's be serious. Unrivaled is backed by private investors. That's not profitability, that's venture capital. Investors aren't revenue, they're life support. Saying your league is sustainable because investors are funding it is like claiming you're wealthy because your credit card hasn't been declined yet. You're not rich, you're just still approved. One fan summed it up perfectly, they think getting investors is making money. Exactly. Investors are betting you might make money someday. Until then, they're paying to keep the lights on, and according to reports, TNT is taking significant losses on Unrivaled. When those advertising deals dry up or the network decides the experiment isn't worth it, the whole thing evaporates. Gone. Like an ex who promised you'd stay friends. And then there's the detail that really sends it over the edge. Collier had surgery during Unrivaled season. Let that sink in. The co-founder of this supposedly thriving, revolutionary league missed games in her own league for surgery, yet somehow couldn't schedule that recovery during the WNBA offseason. So let's recap. She's negotiating against the WNBA while building its competitor, publicly undermining the league's business model, praising an investor-funded startup as proof of sustainability, and missing time in that same startup while demanding the WNBA restructure itself. That's not leadership. That's a walking conflict of interest with a microphone.